Welcome back, guys. Today we're just going to talk about Prism FX lens filters. So anyway, I did actually buy this. This isn't been sent or anything. So we got here, you can actually see it just. So this is the blue lens. I think it's called the blue lens filter. Creator FX Blue Anamorphic. So it creates an anamorphic look in your photos or in your video if you want. So this is, I think it's a 72mm thread. I use it on my GFX 110mm. I actually, for a long period of time, just sort of thought, oh, you know, ND filters, all that sort of thing. Like, I suppose ND filters I never really use because although I do landscape and stuff, it's more so like when I'm working for clients rather than for myself. So it's something I didn't really want. And if I did want to, you know, do anything, like I sort of accepted the fact this was going to be blown out or whatever. And the same with filters. I thought, oh, you know, a lot of them are quite gimmicky, and they're sort of like one-trick ponies, which a lot of filters are, because in theory you're sort of either trying to create a look or lens flare or a vintage look, and that's great. And I think it's because originally when I first started, I came from the sort of aspect of, like, prior to like learning about Photoshop more in Lightroom, you know, you sort of just like bought presets, fudged everything, oversaturated, contrasted, you know, and there was like Nick FX, you know, and you put like light bleed in and things like that all over your images, and it got to a point where it was like, this just looks absolutely terrible, and you just look like another Instagram post. So I was sort of quite against them for a long time, and then it was not Christmas just gone, the Christmas before, so 2022, I actually saw this on Instagram, and I thought, oh, you know, I think I'd really like it. And aside from the problem that you have to obviously actually buy it for your lens thread, so it's sort of, that fits my one lens, but in actual fact it's the lens I use the most for a lot of the work I do. So it was a no-brainer, really. I'm gonna get my, you know, my use out of it. And it was, I think it was just under £100, so I think it was about £84. Really good build, obviously fits in nice and tight, and then you've just got the bezel here, which it's got a bit of resistance to it, but it's smooth, and once it's actually on the lens, and you can move this around, and you can obviously see exactly what it's doing as you're looking through, whether it's the EVF or obviously a normal DSLR. But it's really, really nice in actual fact. And again, obviously you're not going to use it for everything. In some cases it can sort of really sort of take over the image. But it's a great bit of kit. And I've used it on a few shoots now, and it's, I think, again, it's about not, in some cases I've sort of put it on just to see what things would look like, things which are really, really heavy with like LEDs and things like that, and it just sort of destroyed the image. But I'll show you on here these two shoots I did with it. So on the left here is Lily again, and as you can see, you've got this banding going across. Now this is obviously like where you've got like the separation here. This is where the light's obviously hit, because it's got blue lines going across the actual lens itself. Now with these, if they would have been going vertical, it would have looked just bizarre. So you can obviously turn it, you know, you could have had them going across like horizontally or whatever. But in this case, although, you know, this might bother some people, but I actually quite like it. It's not about taking away, it's just adding to the image. So I actually quite like that. So very quick and simple. Now with this one, this is slightly different. So I was doing this for like a bit of another video, and it's not completely polished up, but just sort of just to showcase what you can actually do. So I had the filter on, and I had my Broncolor 800 there, firing down, and I think I had another one over this side at slightly lower power. Now this one here, with the filter on and the blue lines, actually I think they were horizontal, and it actually gave this nice diffusion of almost like a spotlight coming down. So it was quite nice, and you could like enhance it slightly more, you know, like with like a curves adjustment, or you know, just sort of like brush it in a bit brighter. But it's quite nice, and you know, there's many things you can use that for as well, like if you wanted to. So it's just two examples. So that's obviously a product shoot and a model shoot, and so it like works quite well with both of those, and just gives the image a little bit of pop. And it's worth, I think, getting a couple of filters for, you know, a couple of, obviously there's no point in getting filters which, you know, you definitely never use. So there's no point. I think they do quite a range of filters and things, but like, you know, there's like I think there's a starburst one which gives it like a bit of a vintage look, like hazy. If that's not your bag and you like really sort of like high, bright, saturated, contemporary, sort of crisp looking shots, obviously that's not going to float your boat, so don't get that. But there's a good range there, and this one for me, this is the only one I've got at the moment, and I probably will invest in some more in the future as and when, but at the moment I use this one every now and then, and it just suits my purposes, and it shoots the way I shoot and with my editing as well. So it's definitely worth a look, and as you can see, it comes in a nice little case, so it's doesn't rattle, nice and damage free. It's got a bit of setting in the, I just dropped that. So it's got a piece in the back, so it keeps it safe, so it just sits in my bag. You can actually see all the scratches on there. My kit gets a lot of usage. And also I've got an affiliate link below, so if you'd like to use that, and obviously helps the channel grow and helps me create these videos, then you can go and have a look, and it's 15% off everything you buy, and this is a continuous code, it won't end, so it's always there. But have a look at the link below, comment about if you do get any, I'd like to know what you're going to get, and I will see you next time. All right?